What up, guys? So a lot of you have been asking for a sort of extended cut of my Rebel Moon video from a few days ago. If you're looking for that video, still working on editing it, so I'll probably upload it a few days ago. But yeah, so make sure to check this one out. And if it kind of doesn't do very well, I'll probably just do what Zack Snyder did and sort of just like add an extra hour of content in a few days. Kind of not really relevant content that just like explains the backstory of characters that like didn't actually like weren't in the movie. Yeah, look out for that in a few days if this one doesn't do well. Yeah, so when the movie opens up, we're on a planet and the bad guys show up and they're bad and they're evil, clearly evil because they're going around and they're just killing everybody because they're the bad guys. And they're kind of shooting their lasers and they're hitting people, and then like big like sloshy blood is coming out of everybody because it's like, it's got to be like stylized and cool, so it's like lots of sloshy, just thick sludgy blood everywhere all the time. And then we meet this family and they're trying to get away from the bad guys because the bad guys are coming in to kill everyone because they're evil. They're like the Empire. They're, I think, called the Empire, actually. And they have this little pet. Not the Empire, the family. They have this little pet, this little freak, this little kind of freaky little guy. And they don't name him, but, like, he looks like his name might be, like, Fleeko or something. So just to kind of give you a mental image, because I'm not going to pull up a picture. The dad of the family is like, I'm probably going to die soon, Fleeko, so you look after the family for me. Fleeko doesn't like that at all. Fleeko's like, no! And so he lets Fleeko loose, and Fleeko runs up to the bad guys and blows up and dies. That's right, you thought this was going to be a fun story about Fleeko? No, Fleeko's dead. He's gone. He doesn't show back up. So then the bad guys are able to kind of make it to the family after chasing them through and turning a bunch of people into slosh blood. And the leader of the bad guys, just kind of a mental image of this guy. He's the leader of the bad guys. He's got like one of those bowl cuts with the fade. Like the bowl cut haircut, but he's got like a fade. So it's kind of like if you had a fade and then just put like a bowl cut on top of it. So he's that guy. We'll call him Bull Cut Bad Guy because I'm not going to remember anybody's name because there's like 1,000 characters. So Bull Cut Bad Guy is like, I'm going to kill you all. But then he looks at the son, and there's like a son in the family. He's like, probably about like 15-ish. And he's like, but you could join the Empire. It's like pretty cool here. You could be like a good soldier. Let's do this. If you kill your dad with my cane, and then he hands him like a bone club, and it's like this golden kind of bone club thing, and he's like, you take this golden bone club and give your dad a good whack in the noggin. And so the kid's like, I'm not gonna, it's Papa or whatever. But then he's like, well, if you don't, I'm going to kill all of you. So you might as well, right? You're all going to die anyways. You might as well give Papa a good whacking. And the kid's like, no. And the dad's like, no, it's okay. Do it. I forgive you. And there's, it kind of goes back and forth for like a good 5 minutes. But then he's like, bye. And then boom. And so then he whacks Papa's head. And a couple times. It's pretty gruesome. It's actually kind of disturbing. But then after that happens, the tooth lizards come out. And so this is kind of a thing throughout the movie. We see the bad guys have these like tooth lizard guys that are like lizard people that go, and when people die to the Golden Bone Club, the tooth lizards have to take out someone's tooth and put it on their little tooth mosaic for the princess, which, no spoilers, we'll learn more about that later. So after we tooth that guy, the bowl cut bad guy is like, I'm gonna psych, and then he kills the rest of the family, but not the boy. And then the boy's like, okay, I'm gonna become a soldier now. So because he's kind of just like, okay, and so then he goes to become a soldier. And then, boom, 10 years later. This is the first, like, 20 minutes of the movie. So, like, 3 hours and 10 minutes to go. So then we cut to the moon. And we're on this is the rebel moon. We'll be the rebel moon later. But we cut to this moon, and it's, like, really brown. Like, everything's really brown on the moon. Just, brown sky, brown dirt, brown camels, brown wheat, just dust in the air. But apparently it's a really fertile moon, and they're just kind of like growing wheat all the time. It's like their thing. There's like a little village there of like 35 people, like a little Amish community. They grow wheat. That's their thing. And we meet here Gun Girl. And Gun Girl, she's kind of like a little edgy. She's like a little mysterious. Then on the moon, because this is the R-rated version, they do a weird sex thing. So they do that weird sex thing. It lasts like 15 minutes. So that's, a thing. But then they're like, okay, we gotta, do the more harvesting. And by the way, one character says to another, it's good that the Empire doesn't know about our fertility moon because, we make a lot of grain here, but they would probably want it. But good thing they don't know about it. And then the bad guys show up in a big ship. And they show up and they're like, we want grain because we need 15,000 bushels of grain to feed the Empire. And they're like, who could have told the Empire about it? And it turns out that there's a guy who kind of messes everything up. We'll call him messing everything up guy. So he's there and he's like, my bad, guys. It was probably my fault somehow. And then Bowl Cut Bad Guy shows up and, I missed a part. Okay, wait, go back. So this maybe happens before, maybe before this happens. And they're all the bad guys land and they're kind of like occupying the rebel moon now. We meet a new character named Jimmy. Now Jimmy, this is his name. This is the only character's name I remember. Oh, actually, I remember two characters' names. This is one of the two characters' names I remember. So Jimmy's a robot, and they used to be really powerful fighting robots. But ever since the princess died, they don't fight anymore. All the robots kind of just stopped being able to fight because they, became like aware after the princess died. The princess was like really chill. She was like this really chill, nice princess. And now she's dead. She's gone, just like Fleeko, dead. And all the robots are like, oh no. So they don't fight anymore. And so all the bad guys, they're kind of making fun of Jimmy. They're kind of like, you suck, Jimmy. You can't fight. And then Girl 2 shows up. This is a new character. We meet Girl 2. She's kind of like, we'll call her Little House on the Prairie because she's kind of like Little House on the Prairie, kind of, one of those type beat. So she's like, don't make fun of Jimmy. He's probably nice. And then Jimmy and her go down to the river, the local creek, if you will. And she puts a flower in Jimmy's hair. She's like, Jimmy, I don't think you're so bad. Like all these bad guys occupying our rebel moon. And Jimmy's like, thank you. You showed kindness. He's forever changed. Okay, so then we go back to hair bad guy. What did I call him again? Bowl cut bad guy. Yeah, we go back to bowl cut bad guy. And he's like, we need this grain. And, we're gonna get it. And the leader of the village is like, no, I want to keep the grain. We need it. And then guy that ruins everything is like, well, we could probably spare some. And bad mistake, a guy that ruins everything. Bad mistake. Because then Bull Cut Bad Guy's like, maybe this place is even more fertile than I thought. And so he gets out Bone Club, and he Bone Clubs the leader. The Golden Bone Club. And you know what the Golden Bone Cut means. That's right. It's time for the Tooth Lizards. So the Tooth Lizards show up, and they detooth the leader of the village. And they put his little tooth on the tooth slab for the princess for later. And that's the last time I see Tooth Lizards. Yep, that's it. That's we got about 2 hours and 45 minutes of the movie to go. We've detoothed 2 people, put their tooth on a slab twice, and we don't really. It's probably not. It's probably fine. We're not gonna mention it again. So that's my favorite part of the movie. only 2 hours and 45 minutes to go. So after all that happens, the bad guys are like, all right, we're going to be back in a few months. Make sure to have our grain ready. But before they do that, they're getting kind of rowdy, right? It's been a couple days since they've been there. They get a couple rowdy, and they kidnap Little House on the Prairie. And that's not good. You don't want to kidnap Little House on the Prairie. She's a local part of the community. And then Gun Girl is like, you know what? I've had enough. And before that, we also learned that Gun Girl is like a refugee here. She wasn't born here. Gun Girl, she's got a mysterious backstory. She was kind of like a fighting person in some capacity, and she got here. But we don't really know much about that. We just know that she was like a fighting person, and now she's a refugee on Rebel Moon. And so she's like, you know what? It's time we stand up to these mofos. And she's like, bang, 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 and gets like a few of them. But then she kind of also gets like captured, and because there's too many of them or something. And so then they're both kind of like, oh no, we're both stuck. But then Jimmy shows up and shoots the last bad guy, and then he drops a gun and runs away. And they're like, wow, crap, dog. We just killed a bunch of guys. Oh, also, one of the soldiers doesn't die because he tries to help Little House on the Prairie Girl. This guy, it's the kid from earlier. It's the kid who was 15 when Bullcut Bad Guy made him kill his dad. And so we're like, oh, we know you. And that's kind of it. We don't really mention that whole part of the backstory again, or really see this character again for the next 2 hours. So then they're all like, okay, we got to go get warriors because they're going to come back in a few months, and we have to do like that episode of Clone Wars where we turn all the farmers into soldiers because, you know, it's like one of those. We go to the ship because there's a ship now. They somehow find a ship, and guy that ruins everything is like, let's go to a planet. And so they go to a planet on the ship, and they meet a pilot. And they also, while they're there, they're looking for these two people that run the rebels, and they're the Blood Axes, and they're really cool. And we'll get to hear a lot more about the Blood Axes for the next hour and 45 minutes. So, we're like, okay, we need to go get the Blood Axes, but they meet a pilot first, and the pilot's like, well, you know, I could take you to the Blood Axes. I know what's up. But I got a couple other people that are strong, cool warriors that we could go and get along the way to get to the Blood Axes. And then while we're there, a contact that knew about the Blood Axes in the first place, because the Blood Axes are the people that bought the grain in the first place when Guy That Ruins Everything was selling the grain. He was actually selling it to the Blood Axes. And but to get to them, there was a contact in the middle. So there's like a middleman. So it's Guy That Ruins Everything selling grain to this guy who's a contact for the Blood Axes. And so we're like, oh, we should find him because he's going to get us the Blood Axes. So they go to try to find him, but they can't find him because the Empire takes him in a crab jail. So there's like this little crab thing that goes, and then kind of grabs him. And they take him away. But the main characters don't see that. So I kind of grab him and take him away, and it sucks. But it's okay because Pilot Guy, he knows where to. This new pilot guy, he's kind of like the Han Solo character. We'll call him Han Solo Pilot or Pilot Guy for short. So Pilot Guy is like, oh, I can take you to find some people. And like there's like General Titus. That's the other guy's name I remember. So it's Jimmy and General Titus. That's it. So General Titus, he's like this really cool, he was like a general in the army, but then he betrayed the army and he became a rebel. And we can get him because he's really strong. And then the Blood Axes and, you know, some other friends we meet along the way. So the first friend they meet along the way, they stop at this one planet because there's supposed to be this really cool, strong Tarzan guy. We'll call him Tarzan. So they're like, oh, we know Tarzan's on this planet because he got captured and taken as like this guy's like slave. So we're going to go there. So they go to this planet, this like desert planet where Tarzan guy is. And they meet the guy that captured him as like his like slave. And he's like, they're like, oh, we want Tarzan. We want Tarzan guy from you. Can we have him? And the guy was like, well, you know, I am a betting man. So if my slave guy can ride my bird that I also captured, then you can have my guy. And if my guy can't ride my bird, then I can have you. And so that deal sounds great for everybody. So then we get a 20-minute scene where Tarzan rides this like bird thing that this other guy owns. So Turns out his guy can ride his bird, so he honors the deal. He's like, all right, well, my guy rode my bird, so you can have my guy. And so then they all kind of leave, and before he does, like, the guy's like, well, now my bird is tamed, so I'm going to ride my bird. And then the bird kills him. Now he's dead. He's gone. That guy's dead. Fleeko's dead. Princess is dead. Everybody's dead. So then they get on the ship and they go to the next place. And the next place, we meet Sword Lady. And so Sword Lady, she's kind of like this kind of mysterious lady with swords. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll help you with your kind of village problem. That sounds great. Let me go handle this other problem first. So then we go to, she's like in this like cyberpunk alley now. We're on a different planet. There's a cyberpunk alley. This is not me summarizing and skipping a bunch of stuff. We're just there. We were on How to Train Your Hippogriff. Now we're in Cyberpunk versus Spider. So Sword Lady's like, I'm going to duel this sword. And she's like, you guys want to come with? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, we can help. And she goes, nah, you can just kind of be there. And so she kind of dual wields her swords and beats up this like spider lady who's like, I just kidnapped this kid because the city got all smoggy after humans showed up, and now I can't have kids because my little spider babies, when they come out, they die because of the smog. And so she's just capturing other people's kids so that other mothers know what it feels like to not have a kid anymore because all of her kids keep dying to the smog. And so then Sword Lady, so Sword Lady kills Spider Lady. Spider Lady's dead. She's gone, just like Fleeko, just like the princess, just like Hippogriff guy, and now Spider Lady. So dead, gone. And then Sword Lady's all right. Cool. Let's go to the next place. So then they go and they're like, okay, finally, we're going to get General Titus and then the Blood Axes. So it's been a mission to get the Blood Axes, but first we got the pilot and then we got Tarzan and now we got Sword Lady and now we're going to get General Titus. So then we can finally get the Blood Axes. We're like halfway in. Okay. What's next? Oh, General Titus. Yeah. So then we get to this Coliseum and we land on the Coliseum planet and we get this huge shot of a Coliseum and you're like, oh, this is gonna be cool. Like we're gonna get like this cool like gladiator fight. And it's like they're kind of walking and they're like, oh wait, we don't need to go in the Coliseum. General Titus is he's right over there. And he's just kind of like sitting. He's like a drunk guy, kind of like, oh, I'm drinking out my sorrows. And they're like, oh no, General Titus, it's okay. We're gonna get him. We're gonna get the bad guys. And General Titus is like, really? Okay, I'll join your team. So General Titus, he's joined the team. We got, just as a recap, we got Gun Girl. She's the main character. She's probably leaked backstory by now. No, she hasn't. She hasn't really talked much, actually. So Gun Girl, main character. We got, guy that messes everything up. We got Pilot. We got Sword Lady. We got Tarzan. We got General Titus. And then on the Rebel Moon, we keep cutting back to the Rebel Moon, and we keep getting to see Jimmy deliver dialogue. And as he delivers dialogue, he adds a new piece of clothing. So by now, he's probably gotten his cape. So he's like, oh, darkness is sad, and gloom is despair, and here's this cape, I'll put it on. And so that happens, just so you know. And then we also get to see Soldier Boy one more time. The 15-year-old boy from the beginning of the movie, who's like a man now, and he's like, oh, Little House on the Prairie Girl, we could be like chill or something. And Little House on the Prairie Girl's like, yeah, you seem like a cool guy. And so then they kind of like become like friends. They don't really like do anything. Like they don't like kiss or anything or like, you know, anything at all. They're just kind of like together. And it's like, oh, that's like an item. That's it. We don't see him for the rest of the movie. We just got General Titus. Okay, so then we go and cut to the bad guys. And you know that spider mech from earlier that captured that guy? You don't remember? It's okay. I don't remember either, but it happened. And so they got like the spider mech guy and they're like, you, contact for the Blood Axes. Where are the Blood Axes? And they're like, oh, the Blood Axes are on this planet. And he's like, cool. And then he uses this like thing. So the spider mechs have like this thing where they like grab guys and then they have a special key gun that you put in the back of it. And so it like shoots a thing in their head. So it's like the special gun that can go with this special kind of jail. It's important to note that the gun, before it like shoots out, you can also like kind of twist it and it'll unlock it. But it doesn't do that. They kind of twist it and unlock it a little bit, and then he shoots him. So it's kind of like this little thing where it's like you kill the guy, but it does also unlock the jail. But you can kind of like unlock it a little. It unlocks the thing, and then you can kill the guy. But you can't just kill the guy, but you could just unlock it. But it's the same thing. So it's like kind of like if you had a prisoner and you want to let the prisoner out of jail, you had to put your gun into the kind of key lock and then you could turn it and open the jail. Or you could shoot the guy through the keyhole also. So, but that's the only way you can also use the gun. So the gun doesn't fire unless you put it in the keyhole. This is important. Anyways, then we go into... They get to the blood axes. And so the good guys get to the blood axes first, because I don't know what the Empire was doing this whole time, probably brooding about how Princess is dead and they don't have enough teeth for their teeth collection. So then they go and they get to the blood axes, and they're like, oh, blood axes, we got our team, we got the blood axes, you guys want to join the fight? And the blood axes are siblings. There's a boy and a girl. And the girl's like, nah, I'm a low-key out of here. I'm going to take my half of the gang and split. And then she leaves. But then boy blood axe is like, yeah, I'll take my half of the gang and we're so in. But then the Fire Nation attacks. The Empire shows up and they're like, ha ha ha, we're here and we're gonna just get you. And that's not good. So then there's a huge battle. And during the battle, the big ship kind of comes in. But boy blood, oh no, that's later. Because first, they all get captured because they get them because there's too many. So they all get captured. So we get Boy Blood Axe is captured. They're all captured. Boy Blood Axe, Gun Girl, Pilot Guy, Guy that messes everything up, Sword Lady, Tarzan, General Titus, all captured. Except actually not Pilot Guy because he was a mole. He also told them where they were going to be. So, I mean, they already captured the guy, so they already knew where they were going to be. But Pilot Guy, I guess, also told them. So they had kind of two sources of information. So the bad guys showed up, and Pilot Guy was like, ha, ha, ha. And then they all get captured in the spider thing. So they're all captured in the spider things, and Pilot Guy isn't, because he's like, I betrayed you. And get dunked on, basically. And then, so then Bull Cut Bad Guy's like, oh, I see we've got everybody here. We've got Gun Girl, the assassin who's evil and was the most deadly assassin in the world. We've got Sword Lady, who's important. We've got General Titus, the he goes through all their names and backstories and kind of conveniently packages them all for us because it is 3 hours in the movie. We've forgotten a lot of stuff. I honestly forgot everyone else's backstory, or I'd go through them as well. Okay, so then he's like, now, Pilot Guy, you should kill everyone. Here's the key gun. And he gives the Pilot Guy the key gun. And the Pilot Guy's like, you know what? I think I made a mistake. And so he just unlocks it for Gun Girl. And he doesn't shoot her with the gun key. He just unlocks the key. And then Gun Girl kills everyone. But not everyone, but just like some of the people. Because then she's able to unlock everybody else. And now a big battle happens. So then, this is what I was talking about earlier, where the big ship kind of comes in, and there's like one of those gunner turrets. You know, like the ships from Star Wars, the clone gunship, and it's got like the balls on the side that have like, the glass balls with the guns on them. It's got like one of those. And so, Boy Blood Axe is like, I'm gonna save the day. And he goes and he jumps and he smashes his sword into like the glass dome with the gunner. But the gunner turret also has the controls for the ship's altitude. So the gunner who just got stabbed is like, oh no, I'm dying. And he grabs the joystick to control the ship's altitude, and it crashes the ship. And then it kind of isolates this little platform with Gun Girl and Bull Cut Bad Guy. And they're like, oh, final showdown. Gun Girl wins. And she kills Bull Cut Bad Guy. And she hits him with a bone club, and then he hits his face on the ground, and his teeth kind of come out. It's like a symbolic thing, because teeth are important. So then he dies, and then they go back to the Rebel Moon with their gang, and Jimmy's there, and Jimmy's like, oh, what's up, guys? Pretty much. Actually, I don't think he says anything. I think he's just there now, and he's got, like, antlers now. He's got, like, antlers, a cape, a flower, and he ditched the flower for the antlers. It's like a deer skull or something. And then we cut to the bad guys. They took Bull Cut Bad Guy, brought him back to their ship. There's like this giant kind of floating baby head thing that cries tears on him, and it transports him into the ice place. And ice place is special because that's where the king is or was. It's kind of unclear if the king is alive and dead now. Yeah, no, he's dead because he's the slain king because he's dead. So it shows him a vision of the dead king, and the dead king's like, you gotta get back out there, champ. My princess died because Gun Girl killed her. Boo, boo, boo. That's right. Gun Girl actually worked as like the nanny / guard for the princess the princess with the tooth thing from earlier, she worked as her guard, and for some reason, bang, killed her. But it also should be noted that the princess brought a dead bird back to life one time. So she's pretty special, but dead. She's gone, just like Fleeko, just like the guy from earlier who got toothed, the other guy who got toothed, the spider lady. Boy Bloodaxe is dead. He's a goner. But the girl Bloodaxe was like, no, my brother, I'll be a good guy now. So she joined the good guys. And then the movie ends.